All right, we're live. We made it.
Streams live.
We made it. Hello, everyone. We're back for a second time, surprisingly enough. It's to make this happen for a second time, Zach. This is special. I think we're onto something very, very special here.
Monumental task.
It is. As we talked about on our previous collab, we are here for the people. So we hope to connect and interact with as many of you in the comments as possible. We have a lot of fun topics to talk about tonight throughout the evening as well. We're going to be covering a viewer question, talking about 2025 rookies that we are excited that will be coming up, hopefully, fingers crossed, in 2025 Topps product. We also will be covering massive news within the UFC community, not just card community, but the fight community as well. Some big fights announced. We also have UFC starring in a PSA magazine article for the first time. We also have Alex Pereira just lost the belt to Uncle Iev, and we're going to take a look at his pricing to see what's happened over the past week. Has it moved? Has it gone down? Has it gone up, Zach? You never know.
I doubt it.
We're going to be checking that as well over on eBay platform, and we'll be doing a recap of our UFC pay-per-view buys from 3/13. But Zach, great to have you here tonight. Very excited for this. We have Objecto Collecto. He's here. Cheers,
What
brothers.
up, dude?
Cheers, Buzz.
Cheers.
We appreciate
Carbonated
having
water.
you. Yeah, let's cheers to that. I've got
What
water
you got?
here as well.
Nice,
I've
man.
got a bit of water with ice.
What is that, a Great Depression mug? Oh, my God.
It's a Viking mug.
That's huge. Yeah, man. Nice.
So I imagine shipping that home.
Yeah, dude.
Not worth the wait. But, Zach, we're going to start it off with a viewer question. RV Inax. Roman has his own YouTube channel. Get over there and check it out as well. But he has a question for us on our previous collab. He wanted to know who are our top 3 rookies for 2025. What rookies are we passing on, and what rookies are we investing in the upcoming Topps 2025 product? Zach, I'll let you take the floor to start with first. Which rookies from 2025 are you pumped about? The top 3 rookies are you most hyped about?
All right. Well, first of all, I want to say that you look crystal clear today. I don't know if you upgraded the software or you talked to, Bill Gates and all your big tech billionaire buddies, but like you look pretty sharp today, man.
I appreciate that. And once again, what are we 3 minutes in and you got your compliment in? So you're slacking, mate. That's a little bit late.
I'm trying my best. All right.
No.
Okay. Back to the question. What do I think are the top 3 rookies coming up in the 2025 product? Who am I investing in? Well, let me kind of clarify up front. I don't really think any modern UFC rookie cards are good to invest in. It's extremely volatile. It's so risky. Even playing the flipping game is too much of a gamble for me. So just wanted to kind of throw that caveat out there. But with that being said, there's definitely some guys that I'm super excited about and that I'm hyped about that hopefully I can hit big cards of during my 2025 product rips. First up, a guy that is kind of, Damien, do you want to go 1 for 1 here, or do you want to just do 3 and switch?
We'll go 1 for 1.
1 for 1. All right.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So my first dude had a really big win the other day, and it's Gene Silva. He has wins over Air Jordan, your boy. He's got wins over the Crimson Chin, Drew Dober. The win against Drew Dober was even up a weight class, dude. It was at 155. He had that recent win against Melsik Bagdasaryan, all KO finishes, and those are all pretty decent opponents. Like, those are not slouch guys. So for me, the resume alone with those 3 names really has him on my radar personally. If you're knocking out Granite Chin, Drew Dober, like, you have the ability to finish pretty much anyone in that weight class. Not to mention that, he was fighting up at 155. Normally he's at 145. So like, I think that that's pretty rare when you're talking about guys that can translate the power from 145 to 155. He's a savage, super powerful. I also think he might be like a little bit psychotic and crazy. And I think that the fans are going to like that. Like he's a wild guy. I think generally UFC fans tend to like people like that. But also, man, he's set to fight Bryce Mitchell. And like, I think a lot of people have turned on Bryce Mitchell because of some of his out of the cage, like antics and opinions. And right now, dude, he's classic heel. In your WWE world, right? He's the classic heel. And I think that this could be kind of a good like bounce off trampoline moment for Silva. I think a lot of people are going to be rooting for him to tear Bryce Mitchell's head off. And maybe if he gets that done, he could be vaulted into like one of the most talked about people in that division, maybe even, pushed up into real high up in the rankings and one of the fan favorites in that 145 division. So that's my first prospect that I'm really excited to hopefully see at 2025.
Yeah, it's a good one. I mean, I don't think that Gene Silva would be missing off many people's lists. We can see here, current record, 15-2, 12 wins by knockout, 2 by submission, 1. Not a decision, man. He gets it done before the judges need to step in. And as you said, massive stepping stone for him if he can dust off Bryce Mitchell. Wasn't that long ago, Bryce Mitchell was undefeated until he ran into a man named Ilya Taporia. And as you said, Bryce Mitchell is pretty famous now for saying some pretty crazy stuff. So if he can knock off a guy like Bryce Mitchell, sleep him like Josh Emmett did, then I think that that could be a massive leap up for him. And as you said, a push in the right direction. Speaking of my man, Charles Jourdain, we're going to look him up here right now because this is not someone... This is a selfish pick because I feel like it's a bit of a small pool.
Hey, the question was asked, who are you looking forward to? So
this is who I'm looking forward to the most. I want to point out a point here. He has been fighting. Look at his resume. We have Victor Henry, Gene Silva, as you talked, Sean Woodson, Ricardo Ramos. We have Cron Gracie, Nathaniel Wood, Shane Burgos.
Yeah.
Lando Venata, Andre
Touchy-feely.
Julian Rosa as well. So he has been fighting the UFC, Andre Fili, as you said, Do Choi Hoi, and since 2019. He's been in the UFC coming on 6 years, and we still don't have a rookie card. 16 wins, 8 losses, not the best record. He's still a young guy. He's only 29, but as I said, he has been fighting pretty top quality there for the majority of his UFC run so far. So he is one who I would like to see in 2025 top spotter. I mean, I was calling for him back in the last run of Prism in 2023.
Yep, so I remember it.
I hope that we can get a Charles Jourdain rookie card. I hit him up on Instagram, actually, funnily enough, just the other week. And I was like, brother, when are you going to get a rookie card? And I got no reply. So I was hoping for a sneak leak that I could tell the people, but no, left me unread. So, all right, who we got, Zach? Who's number 2?
Oh man, this is a guy that this guy has to be probably the most talked about guy from the last pay-per-view, and it's Mauricio One Shot Rufy. This guy's super flashy, maybe one of the most dynamic strikers we've seen come in the UFC since Sugar Sean. I mean, this guy really can do it all. Incredible kicks, great with the hands, super creative. He's been titled the Brazilian Conor. Like, it's really reminiscent of early Conor, just the style. Not to toot my own horn, but I did a video of this guy like 7 months ago. I checked the tape 7 months ago, talking about he's one of my favorite unranked lightweights in the division, and he's done nothing but get 2 finishes since that. He's got the anime persona. He's flashy. He's knocking people out. Sorry, King Green. He's knocking people out with the spinning kicks. But if I can play devil's advocate with myself here, the quality of his wins hasn't been as high as Gene Silva, or maybe even not as high as the guy that I'm going to talk about next. And if I'm taking like, what do I think could go wrong that I'd be scared with One Shot, it would be that he's so free and that he's so wild in his striking that if he does come up against an ace grappler, if he's not extremely talented himself in takedown defense, I do think that the type of strikes that he does leaves himself quite open to get taken down. Like, the highest percentage chance to get taken down when you're in the middle of the octagon is by throwing kicks, and he loves to throw kicks. So that could potentially be a con in his fighting style. But dude, he's so fun, super dynamic, controlling the distance, switching up attacks high and low. And with his athleticism, with his style, I think he's going to be a big chase in 2025 and somebody that personally that I want to hit in some of those products.
Yeah. Second fighter out of three options for the rookie class from the Fighting Nerds gym.
Yep.
As you said, I've only seen him fight now twice. But the way that he moves, I don't know why you want to compare him with Sugar Sean when you want to talk about Conor, because he fights exactly same. Like, I mean, the way that he pulls back from shots, his kicks, his punches, his stance, everything, just the way that he moves, even his head movements is so much like Conor. It's like identical, absolutely identical. Was the first thing that I noticed and saw about him. And as you said, to get a highlight knockout like he just did, he's going to get a good rub from the brass at UFC.
Big time.
He knocked out the guy who I probably would have knocked out if we had a fight, but so that's never going to get to happen now.
That's a throwback from a couple of weeks ago. If y'all didn't know,
that's a throwback. But yeah, that is definitely a worthy mention. I myself, I'm going to have to go with Peyton Talbot, and I
knew it. I knew it.
I know Peyton's coming off a loss. But we're going to go over here. We have a current record of 9-1. He was undefeated until he came into Herney Bassos. But yeah, that was a decision loss. That was a very tough fight for him. His resume so far, no names. I mean, it was only his fourth fight in the UFC, coming off a Contender Series, we can see there. But I think the style that he has, the age that he is as well, he's only a very young guy. I think that I wasn't even showing that then, was I? You should have told me, mate. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties as per usual. Just going over his record here, as I said, 10 matches, 9-1. But yeah, tough loss, but nothing to be sneezed at. It's a very tough competition that he ran into for a decision loss. I think he'll probably only bounce back from that, come better, and I think he still should be. He might not be now, which is a good thing. As you said, I don't advise anyone to be buying into very speculative, like, because the rookies that we're talking about now, none of them of course are at sure things. We've seen some of the records just now, and we're not like we are talking about any of these rookie world beaters that are just absolutely demolishing the toughest competition. These guys are on the rise up, all in the right direction, but still to be investing in buying into some of their cards is probably not the greatest idea. But a lot of you are going to go out and do that anyway, which is each their own. But yeah, I think Peyton Talbot, he might be on the quieter side now, but I'm sure there will still be a few people who want to buy in to Peyton Talbot for 2025 product. That's if we get his card. That's the other thing. None of these are sure things either to get the cards, but you would be thinking that the names that we've talked about so far should be included in the 2025 product. All right, who you up lastly? Who's your third pick for the 2025 Topps draft?
My third pick, dude. Let me lean back for us real quick. Oh, he did it. Mick the Bick, Oral by my man Mick the Bick Oral by. You know what? I'm leaving it on for this whole time. I gotta leave it on this whole time. This is legit. This is from Kyrgyzstan. My buddy, he's a crazy travel guy. He actually went to Kazakhstan and he got it, which is right next to Kyrgyzstan. Whereas Mick the Bick's from, and it's like the exact same hat, dude. It's hilarious. But my man Mick the Bick Orobai, I've nicknamed him the Caveman because of how he looks. That's a term of endearment, Mick the Bick. But he doesn't have a nickname yet. I think the Caveman is perfect. I haven't heard anyone with that nickname either. He looks 40, but he's only 27, dude. His last fight was a loss, but it was a spectacular fight. He showed a ton of heart. He showed a lot of tools that you would want from a champion. Very good wrestler, kind of a brawler on the feet. He's beat Elvis Brenner, you know, who is a solid guy as well, and put on some gutsy performances. Had a fight of the night loss recently against Rebecca, who's 20-2. So he's definitely, the opponent is no slouch. It's a pretty solid opponent. But I think with his age and the wrestling and his grappling mixed in and willingness to just do whatever it takes, he's a guy I'm super excited about to hopefully pull from some products in 2025. Biggest fears with Orobai. He needs to clean up his striking a little bit. He needs to be a little more technical. And, he could be one of those guys that relies on his overwhelming grappling strengths. And while he is an insane grappler, if he comes up against someone that can match that physicality, I do think that he will eventually have to get sharper with his striking and a little more crisp in his striking in order to take that next step and really vault into like contender or champion level. Who you got, dude?
Yeah, that's a good one. I actually I haven't given thought to him, but that's a good one. That's a good inclusion there. And that was a very entertaining fight, as you said, against Rebecca in his last outing where he got absolutely just beat badly. I mean, I don't know how that fight continued, but it was crazy. Made it happen. So it was great, good for ratings. My third pick, it's hard to not go with Carlos Prates, the third inclusion from the Fighting Nerds gym, the guy who lays people out, smokes a Daria or a cigarette before and after the fight.
taking shots in the crowd straight out of the bottle.
And I know Tops is listening here right now, so I'm gonna give you guys just a bonus nugget here, the Tops representatives, because if you can't get a triple auto with the 3 Fighting Nerds on a card,
that'd be huge.
To whatever you want, that'd be huge for 2025 product for the 3.
Agreed.
Imagine all 3 rookies, 3 of the top chasers, get it on card too, send it to the gym, get it done, do it in whatever color ink you want. I think that'd be a massive, massive chase card alone for 2025. And I think it's hard to not include a 2025 rookie class when you're not talking about the other big, exciting fighter out of the Fighting Nerds gym at the moment, which is just absolutely killing it. So that is my third pick. And I want to give a shout out, a mention to Morgan. It's Morgan Chardet, I think. It's the French guy. I'm just going to try and see if I can pull him up now for the people to see. But
for the people, speaking of the people, if you're out there, give this a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed to Damien's channel, and we'll be getting to you guys soon to talk a little bit.
Yep, we're going to be checking out the comments. We can do that now. Actually, we'll get to the comments. We'll see who's here as we head on over. We have Matty Mack starting off. Good morning with his coffee. Don't forget, it is Australia time. It is currently, what is it now? 8:17 in the morning there. So good morning to you.
Oh, nice. Bright and early, dude.
We had Objecto coming in from Canada. We've got people all over the world, mate. We are international here right now. We have NFT.
Awesome. Oh, nice. What's up, dude?
Good to see you, man. What's up, guys? We have Matty saying hello to NFT as well.
Nice.
Saying hello back off. The people, they are connecting in the comments. We have Objecto. I fear the newest and future losses that Peloton values will not hold to the current hype. Jose Aldo, Mignog, Vitor Belfort, Chris Cyborg, and Glover are all undervalued Brazilians in comparison. That is true. But I think Pereira, we are talking about a new era of UFC.
Is this a topic? Can we just vault right into this topic, dude? This is perfect.
We can get into it. We'll go through the comments first, and then we'll get into it. We'll come back to that one, Objecto.
Yeah, great job, Objecto.
Matty Mack is agreeing, spot on. Really dig Ruffy, exciting to watch. We have Gem Card Collecting, my guy. Some of the best UFC content creators. Gotta love it. Glad I made it in time. Thanks for coming by, mate.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
Having you here. We know you're a supporter, a strong supporter of both of our stuff. NFT, love Ruffy mentality and style of fighting. Did you guys grab 3 tops now of Ruffy? I didn't grab any tops now.
Nope.
You grabbed any tops now? Nope.
We
missed that train.
Those are so hard to get. Like they sell out so quickly.
Yeah.
And for the base, I don't want to buy a base. So
yeah. Yeah, you got to have some sort of robot on your team to be doing that sort of stuff. We had Matty Mack. The word cigarette went through the foreign exchange and came out as Durry. That is true. For those of you who don't know, Durry, tough stick. What other slang words do we have for cigarettes here in Australia? Quite a few. Well, I'm in the chat. We have Ex-Crispy. Hello, guys. Portugal.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Add it in, dude.
Add it on the map. We need a map.
We need flags.
Yeah. We need a map. We need to scratch off all the countries where we have viewership. This is insane. Glad to catch you guys live. Thanks for stopping by. We very much appreciate it. And we're happy to have a viewer from, probably the only viewer from Portugal, but we can say we've been
That's
there
awesome.
now, Zach. We made it. And then we have NFT in again. Tops now is Ruffy True Rookie. Excited. Whoops. NXT. Tops now is Ruffy's True Rookie. Excited to pull a short numbered. All right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
getting to the X Crispy's in. He's actually Kiwi, or they are actually Kiwi, but living in Portugal, living the dream. Apparently.
He's a Kiwi, yeah. He's a fruit.
But yeah, we need to talking about what's news. I was actually going to save this, Zach, for the third topic, but because Objecto has made the people's demand, we're going to come back and talk with this. As Objecto said, I fear with newest and future losses that Peloton values will not hold to the current hype. Jose Aldo, Big Nog, Vitor Belfort, Chris Cyborg, and Glover Cars are all undervalued Brazilians in comparison. That is true about those legendary Brazilian fighters. But the point I wanted to make, I think we're in a completely different era viewership with UFC now. And I feel like Pereira's stardom that he has gained over the past 2 years has been pretty unseen so far. Like we have some fighters who blast onto the scenes, but for the star rise that Peloton had, I think it's pretty special. And I feel like Peloton still has a lot of big fights, a lot of exciting fights in UFC. As I said, I understand these are other past legendary Brazilian fighters, but I think a lot of these names, Vitor, Big Nog, Cyborg, Glover was a little bit more recent, but obviously on the tail end of his career, finishing with that title run at the end. But I feel like Pereira, even over these fighters, no matter what happens with his career, he's only got a short time left. He's getting up there in age. He's getting towards the later 30s now. He's probably got a few more fun fights left in him. Maybe could even, obviously fight for the title. And if they do the rematch, who knows? That was a close fight, Zach.
It was.
So no saying that he couldn't even get the belt back at this stage or go up to heavyweight, or he can do whatever he wants. I think he has the star power now. And I feel like my point is, I feel like regardless of what happens, I think Peloton, for the magical 2 years or so that he's had in UFC, I think that'll shine bright regardless of what happens here moving forward. Do you want to give a quick thoughts on this Peloton loss before we go over to eBay and check out some of the sales?
Yeah, man. So in comparison here with all of these names that we're seeing, we got Aldo, Big Nog, Belfort, Cyborg, and Glover. I would say that probably the only person that's really remotely in the same kind of like bracket of champion would be Jose Aldo. Crazy to say, but Glover was one-time champion. I can't remember Belfort off the top of my head, but I don't think he was a 4-time champion. Chris Cyborg, women's MMA was only shortly in the UFC. So to compare those names to Peloton, besides Aldo, to me is not necessarily a fair apples to apples comparison. But yeah, man, like you said, I think the original question was is it a good time to buy or sell? And I kind of like to buy off losses. I know we've talked about that before, and especially if it's a guy that you like, if it's a fighter that you enjoy watching, if it's someone that you had either wanted to invest in but were priced out of, which for me is the case with Alex Pereira, I think that now is kind of a good time to buy. If you want to buy when the prices are high, you should also want to buy when the prices are lower as well. He did kind of get outclassed tactically and looked a little lost in there against Magomed. But like you said, it was a close fight. It's not like he got brutally finished or like he got, completely dominated from start to finish. It was a pretty close fight. Magomed was able to, kind of eke it out and do a little bit more, but definitely not necessarily a bad showing, in my opinion, from Peloton. So let's go ahead and let's look at those prices, dude, because I didn't look at it and I'm excited to kind of see where he's at right now and if we see a dip in his pricing because of that performance.
So as we head on over here to the beautiful platform that is eBay, we've typed in Alex Pereira, and I just want to show this for the people I'm sure everyone who is tuned in now and watching knows how to do this, but for the future watchers that may be a little bit newer, type in whatever fighter you want. We'll add in here UFC as well. Why not? And then what you do is you come down to this sidebar here. You can do the same thing on your phone under filters, but we're going to come down this sidebar on the desktop version, and we're going to buying format, item location, show only. We're going to go sold items. So we want to filter the listings to only cards that have sold recently. We can see this White Sparkle rated rookie from Optic currently sold. This is a little bit annoying. How are we going to change this out of... It's in Swedish crowns.
What was the conversion? You said it was like 10?
It's like divided by 10. So I'm just going to divide this for everyone. So yeah, we're looking at about $170 for this one US. What we have here, headliners from Topps Chrome. We have $41 roughly. We have his green chrome there, number to 99. That one, bit of a steal there. That's $9. So 84 crowns. We've got the Midnight there, the Auto Relic, sticker auto. That one's selling for $117. We have the Knockout with him and Adesanya, $13. We have the Future Stars rookie, not a rookie auto, but the Future Stars auto from 2024 Topps Chrome. A lot of people like these future autos. That one's selling for, $150.
It's pretty reasonable. A lot of these prices are pretty reasonable.
We have this Topps Now one. This one, what event was this from? As we go on here, you can go check out UFC 307. So that was when he beat Roundtree. So we have a canvas relic there. So this is what is interesting from Topps. Not to get off topic here, but it seems that Topps now seem to be reserving all the actual specific relic canvas cards. This is what I've noticed so far. And the pack pool products is what we are getting from a non-specific. So I'm hoping Topps can change that moving forward. But that one's selling for $57.
So have these prices gone down, or is this kind of the same?
I feel like some of these are going down. I mean, I guess the attention now would have moved. People that's the thing about UFC. People I wouldn't say collecting, but as you said, it'd be the time to buy Pereira. I'm actually going to argue is now. This one, 49 Blue Disco PSA 10 from Select 2023. That one's selling for $300 in a PSA 10. We have that Intimidators base auto. That one's selling for $200, but that was before the fight, obviously, as well. So relevancy counts when it comes to UFC. We've got the gold shimmer there, Intimidators, $320. That's March 6th. So we're basically into now before the fight. So we haven't had that many sales afterwards. That's what that's telling me. We're at the 15th now. The fight was obviously on the 9th. So these are all sales that we've had before the fight. And then we haven't really had that many sales afterwards. So I feel like, as I said, my arguing point would be relevancy. And I feel like coming off a loss, especially maybe not directly right about now, I'd give it some time. We don't know what's going to happen with Peloton moving forward. Is he going to want to fight straight away? As you said, he wasn't badly beaten up and knocked out or has to take time away, or we don't know what injuries there is there. But I think this would be the time to be buying Pereira cards over the next few months if you were wanting to still buy into Pereira. And as I said earlier, I do think there is a market there for him moving forward. And I do think, regardless even of what happens now, I feel like there will be a market for Pereira always moving forward. He will be, even if he was to retire tomorrow, I feel like his special 2-year period that he's had currently with the UFC has value. All right, let's pull up some comments here now. Start back with gem card collecting. Zach, what is your thoughts on Jaylen Turner's retirement?
Man, okay, so shameless self-promotion right now. I'm doing the memberships and all that, and I actually had like a big rant that I went on when Jaylen Turner lost. I have I don't know if you can see it. It's right here. It's a good, nice Jaylen Turner gold rookie. You can't see it because of the glare, but man, I was super sad about that. He went out there. It's all mental with him, Damian. Like this is why I'm saying prospecting is so dangerous. Like you can have all the physical tools in the world. You can be as skilled as anybody. But like if you lose and you start to get in your head and you don't feel like a bad man, like you're going to go out there and take everybody's head off, it's such a hard sport to win. And there's so many moments where it's like you're doing good and then all of a sudden, oh shit, I'm about to lose. And like Jaylen Turner got caught in that triangle. He didn't defend properly. And now he's on like a 3-fight skid. I'm super sad. I felt bad for him because he's so talented, such a big guy for the division. And then to just have this type of skid right here and have some really close fights where he lost also. It's just sad, man. And I hope he doesn't retire. I hope what he needs to do, in my opinion, is to change camps, go somewhere fresh, kind of get his head straightened out, get his confidence back, get out there one more time. If he wins, then we're trains rolling again. I mean, he's only 29, I think, so he's still like got some time. If he loses again, then maybe, you call it. But I hope he doesn't retire after that one.
Yeah. I think he has retired though, hasn't he? But yeah, I agree. I mean, it's of all sports, like fighting is that brutal. You need to be you need to have your head in the game. You need to be their mentality, as you said. If you're not going into the fight confident or at least convinced you're going to beat up this other person, then I could only imagine that's half the battle there. So smart decision for him if he realizes that he's no longer there in his career, and hopefully he moves on now and can do some bigger and better things. We have X-Rispy with the smiley emoji. Thanks, mate. Matty, is that a new custom bat parallel in your KC? I can only imagine he's talking about the main event logo there in the corner. Is he?
Oh, he's talking about this one. This is the Matty Mac 101. This is a good eye, dude. I actually shot a video today about a mail day that I had. I did a trade, sneak preview on a future episode. I did a trade with somebody and sent them cards, and they sent me some custom stickers, and then this came with it. It's pretty sick. You guys will see that in a couple weeks. But good eye, dude. You're like an eagle out here. You're a hawk watching with the binocs on.
Yeah, I can't see anything back there, so that was very good. At least we know that the quality's there, mate. We must have good video going on at the moment. NFT, I've been grabbing the actual Fight Mac relics from Tops now, and I've been grabbing over 100 of the vintage actual Fight Mac relics. Need to make a post on IG. Nice. NFT, I remember when we did our collab and you were showing me the cards that you have already, the Immaculate. I know you're big on card autos and actual specific relics, but you have a lot of cards, mate. So that's crazy to know that you're stocking up on more. That's absolutely wild. Hopefully you're
where does he have the space?
Hopefully your better half is all good with this. Z&D, you need to get NFT on the show. Dude has been busy. Yeah, I should get NFT back on. It's been a while. Probably could get that sorted. Agreed. I've got to sell my Jaylen first off the line Purple Stars auto. Interest back. Yeah.
For a deal, for the right price.
Yeah, for the right price.
I can cross my fingers and hope that he comes back and doesn't completely retire.
Send it to ComC.
Yeah.
X-Recipe pulled Kayla Harris and Aqua Glitter auto. Keep or sell? Aqua's that rare. Aquas aren't numbered, but I don't know. Zach, you're the numbers man. You're the pack odds man. Do we know what the Aqua Glitter's like? Yeah,
I mean, keep or sell. That's kind of a subjective question. Like it depends on, are you a fan of her? Are you just trying to after it for like the flip value? Do you think she's going to be a champion? So keep or sell is kind of a question that would be difficult to answer unless you were giving, like a conversation between us two. Are Aquas that rare? My answer would be no, they're not that rare. That's going to be the Blaster auto parallel. They're not numbered. You can go on Tops and check the odds for that, but that's going to be the Blaster auto. So in my opinion, that's one of the lower end autos of Kayla Harrison that you could get.
There you go. Good explanation. Thanks for that, Zach. We have down with that. Live while the fight's on. Can watch during breaks, but why live during fight, guys? Sorry if I missed the explanation. There's no fights on. Is it? It's not too early. The prelims on already, are they, Zach?
Let me check. Quick update.
That's about on my behalf if it is, but I didn't. I thought we're a bit early for that.
Let's see. They started at 3 today. There's been 3 fights so far. But to answer your question, we have people from Portugal. We got people from Australia, from Sweden, from everywhere. So we have to start kind of around 4. We hit a bunch of different time zones.
Yeah, that is the thing. But that's probably the best explanation. Is I'm on one side of the world, Zach's on the other. We have viewership all over the globe. So we're trying to find
humble brag, dude. Humble brag.
Humble brag. Yeah, I mean it's tough being international out here, but you know we're all just foreigners at the end of the day.
Yep.
NFT, I'm so down, Mac. Been meaning to do some YouTube, but it'll be easier if Zach does all the work. Haha, just kidding. Yeah, you got to get back on Instagram. I know you were doing a lot of your content NFT on Instagram, so definitely should be getting back to it if when you got time. Stop buying cards and start making some content again. Down with that, some bangers from the ladies. Not exactly sure what that's referring to, but
got to be the fight card right now.
Ah, right. There you go.
you're like, whoa, this is a PG show.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, the ladies, what's going on? In your opinion, gem card collecting, who do you guys think are the best 3 investment buys from where we are in the UFC right now? Active fighters only.
Dude, that's a great question. Can we keep that for a future episode? Because I would want to do some research around that and really dig into that.
We'll obviously, you know, we'll do the plug, the shameless plug, Zach. We will be doing the collab leading into UFC 314 over on Zach's channel. All his channel details, link to his channel is in the description for this video. So, of course, once we sign off, go over and subscribe to Zach if you haven't already. But we will be doing a collab there and a live as well next month. So we can answer that one. So that's a great question. Thanks for
Jem. DM me that question and we'll get to it next episode because that's a good one.
We have Matty Mac. Can we expect an O'Malley haircut on his return day? I actually would have, if I had the capacity, I would have braided my hair when it was longer before. But we'll see. We'll see what happens when he returns. If he gets a win, I mean, I'll change my name to Sean O'Malley without a doubt. Prelims right now. Okay. X-Rispy, it was rookie's finest auto, but probably still stands. Thanks. So yeah, the rookie auto for the Aqua Glitter for Kayla.
Yep.
I'm doing dual screen UFC. NFT is the man. So what we want to get into now, we're still on What's News, Zach. We haven't got mate. We've got too much going on at once. But I did want to talk about this. I did want to talk about this. Jones versus Aspinall, June 28th. It's official, as far as I know. I'm not sure if you heard any different.
When did that hit? That's official?
Apparently.
Hold on. Let me.
Not on the UFC, on all social media accounts.
Oh, okay.
On all social media accounts, it's official. It's not on the UFC website. I checked.
Okay.
But so maybe take this with a grain of salt. You never know what's going on when we are talking about not on the actual UFC website. But let's pretend this is into
existence.
Let's pretend this is. You're to see, you're to believe, to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say this is real. What are your thoughts on this fight, first and foremost? And then secondly, how does this affect potential for both John Jones and Aspinall? How does this affect their card pricing, just in a speculative general opinion?
Okay, so card pricing, I got like 1 sentence answer. Both of their prices will go up if they win. That would be my answer for the card pricing. Super simple. You're talking about, John Jones, possibly the greatest fighter ever. If he beats Tom Aspinall, he is the greatest fighter ever, and it's not close, in my opinion. He's better than GSP. He's better than everybody else. To be able to beat Tom Aspinall at this stage of his career in heavyweight, he's easily the GOAT. And then if Tom Aspinall beats John Jones, he just beat what was one of the best, if not the best, most people think is the best fighter of all time. You can now prop up the UFC on Tom Aspinall's back, and he is the superstar that you need to run to the future. Dana, get the Brinks truck out, dude. Give him as much money as he wants. This is the fight that the UFC needs right now in order to really break in order to really explode. We need this fight. Please give him anything he wants, man. I think the only reason that they wouldn't make this fight is if John Jones is asking for, and I was trying to like ballpark the number. I think if he's asking for 10 times the amount that anyone has ever gotten the UFC, then I think that's too much. But if it's any less than 10 times the amount anyone has ever gotten in the UFC, they should give it to him, man. Like, they're $1 billion company. Give this man $20 million, whatever he's asking for. This is the most popular fight that we could possibly have at this time, in my opinion. So yeah, dude, this has to happen. This fight has to happen. If it doesn't happen, this will be bigger than the miss that was Jones and Ngannou. This will be one of those fights where it's like, why did the UFC not make this happen? And we'll forever talk about it, and it will be a travesty.
Yeah, I mean, this is a win-win for the UFC, not only for the UFC as a community and as a sport, but also for a card market. Because to touch on, as what you said before, either one of these guys fights, it's absolute gold for UFC cards, because we, as much as I don't like John Jones and I don't think he's a good human being, blah, 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 like whatever reason, as you said, if he can pull off a win against Tom Aspinall, who is leaps and bounds above any other contender in the heavyweight division, like there's a big gap between Tom Aspinall and any other UFC heavyweight currently. So if John Jones can beat this man, as you said, at this point in his career, at this point of Tom Aspinall's career, it's unanimous about his overall career. We can have pretty much a no debate discussion that John Jones is the greatest this sport has ever seen, credentials and resume wise. It's, as I said, it's a no-brainer at that point, which is not only good for the UFC, like we're talking about, like it's a no discussion as a sport, but obviously for UFC cards as a product as well. If we could have a decided greatest of all time, it'd be massive for UFC. But then, as you talked about, if Tom Aspinall can pull this win off himself, as you said, dude, he can dust off John Jones, who arguably, as we said, is already goated status at the moment amongst a lot of the UFC community. He's going to put the sport on his back, as you said, and where they want to take it from there. He can just dust off every other heavyweight over the next 5 years that probably come through. Obviously, you know, it's a one-punch sport sometimes. But as I said, when you watch Tom Aspinall, the way he fights, all his attributes, he's pretty far ahead of the rest of the heavyweight division. So if he could beat John Jones, get the undisputed strap, and then just go on a tear for like 3-4 years, he's still relatively young, 5 years, if he stays injury-free. I mean, that's massive for UFC in the sport as well. And that's also massive for UFC card products as well. Because as you said, you could put Tom Aspinall's big, ugly United Kingdom mug. Sorry, Tom, I know you watch. But you could put his face all over Topps products, on the boxes, on blasters, on mega boxes. And you could put him as the face of the UFC as well if you can beat John Jones. So it's a win-win. As I said, they need to make this fight happen. But that was not the only thing we were given. We also have this. We can pull it up now. Same card.
Wow.
Same card.
Potentially.
If we want to take in Fight.tv as a reliable source,
right, exactly.
We have Makhachev versus Topuria on the same card. That's also probably the second biggest fight you could make in the sport right now.
Massive.
Absolutely insane. We're talking about Makhachev, who probably at his point, this is a bit of a lose-lose situation for him in terms of he beats Topuria. I mean, as everyone's like, big whoop, you know, you've beaten up the guy coming up a weight, blah, blah, blah. Even if he wins, it doesn't really do too much for Islam. I hope he's getting absolutely paid for this one. But Topuria, if Topuria knocks out Volkanovski, knocks out Max Holloway, and then somehow knocks out Islam Makhachev, Zach, put his face right next to Tom Aspinall's on every UFC tops product for the next 5 years, because he is strapped to the SpaceX ship that is going straight to Mars.
I mean, it's true, man. It's true. I titled this in my notes, "The Double Champ Conundrum." And this was a topic that I was really excited to talk about. So bear with me if this is a little wordy, guys, but I think it's some points that I have to get off my chest, and maybe you guys will agree with some of this. Okay, so normally when we see people moving up to another weight class, we have two scenarios, right? We'll call this Islam versus Topuria scenario A. In scenario A, you have a champion who's surging, who's extremely popular. This is Topuria, who is fighting lights out and is giving the people like exactly what they want. Meanwhile, in that same division, you have another contender in that division that's kind of doing the same thing, and that is Diego Lopez. So we have two guys that are just like rocket ships going up, super popular. Everybody's enjoying them fighting. I do not like this scenario A, where when there's two rocket ships, they then vault the other guy out of the division completely and totally take him out of the equation. I do not like that. It's killing the division's fire and hype. And by taking an exciting champion like Topuria and putting him in another division, you risk him losing. And then when he comes back down, it's just not the same again. And we've seen it before with Volkanovski. Like sometimes either A, they get their lights absolutely shut out and they're not the same fighting, or B, just the zeitgeist and the public opinion is not the same because of seeing that guy lose. So personally, I do not like that they're trying to put Ilia Topuria up against Islam right now when we have Diego Lopez in that division who is surging and who is on fire. Now, I understand that Ilia might be having issues making weight, and that could be, a big reason that he's trying to get out of that weight class. But like I said, they need to give him the Brinks truck, and they need to say, nah, man, like you're going to fight Diego. We're going to get this fight, and then you're free to do whatever you want. Because realistically, Diego is the only other guy that he would need to knock out in that division for me to be like, yes, please go up, and I want to see Islam versus Ilia.
Yeah. Definitely agree with you on a lot of points there. And I think, if anything, if this fight is true, I think it goes to show that Ilia Topuria is not a company man at all. Ilia Topuria is it has only one invested interest, and that is Ilia Topuria's legacy and career, which, as you said, you can't blame him. And as I said, if he can pull this off, I mean, hats off to him. But massive, massive news. If either of these fights are true, forget about both of them. If either of these fights are true, I think it is big news for UFC, and it could be big news for cards, especially if we're talking about Ilia Topuria doing something crazy against Islam Makhachev, which what he did to Max, it is definitely hard to say that it's not possible. The other what's news topic that I wanted to talk about, Zach, thirdly, we've got a few comments here. We probably should go back to some comments before we pull up the third topic.
Let's hear them.
Well, we have a few. We got to get back here. We got a few here.
We need to be in the comments to finish, I think.
Gem Car Collecting. Are you guys fans of The Ultimate Fighter? If so, what's your favorite tough season? That another
Definitely.
one. Yeah, I'm a big. I mean, it's hard to go not part. I think it was the 5th season with Diaz. That was a good one. That was a. What do you got here? I can't see.
That is the Ultimate Fighter 1, and it is Bonner and Griffin, in a gold parallel. Super nice card. That's what got me into the UFC was Tough 1, because I thought reality TV was interesting and it was new, and then I was like, whoa, what is this sport where they're just like, it's like boxing, but you can kick and like tackle people too, and then that was kind of what made me a fan of the UFC in general. So I'd always watch the Ultimate Fighter series.
I had a friend who gave me on hard drive, the first 5 seasons. So I binge watched all the first 5 seasons probably going back 15 years ago now. But yeah, I would say I think it was season 5 with Nate Diaz was definitely a really good one. And the one was Bisping wasn't in I think Bisping was in 2 or 3.
Dude, there's so many good ones. When Rampage and Forrest were hilarious, like Vanderlei, Chael. I really enjoyed this last season of The Ultimate Fighter. Maybe not so much the TV aspect, but like the actual fights were very good and a lot of good talent on this last year's Ultimate Fighter.
You know, it wasn't a good season Ultimate Fighter that we recently had. McGregor and Chandler, absolutely. That was just trash, man. I was so hyped for that, and it was just trash. It was terrible. Anyway. Thanks for that question. We have Down With That. He wants to know, do you have to have all insets of cat as a full set, like having 2022 Don Russ cards, except for the Octagon Canvas and Octagon Royalty cards, and then like all autos colors of each card?
Okay, so
this is a big question, Zach.
Yeah, that's kind of a two-parter. For me, I would look at it like you have multiple sets that you can complete in one product. You don't need to have every single set, but whether that be base set, insert set, auto set, and you don't need all of those in order to say that you have a completed set. But if you are trying to do the entire 2022 Don Russ and have that get every single card from that product and call that a full set, then yeah, that's a full set. But like you can complete just the Octagon Canvas set and have that be a full set of the Octagon Canvas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends on what sort of set run you're doing. If you wanted to do a product set, that's crazy. I wouldn't recommend doing that.
But
then I wouldn't say you'd have to have all the parallels. You would just obviously have to have every insert and every base card from and all the autos as well. But yeah, you wouldn't have to then go, chasing rainbows as well, because that would there's not enough cardboard in the world to fill that order. But yeah, it's definitely as you said, to say that you're collecting your set is obviously very individual, and it can mean a lot of different things for different people, I think. And that's what he's chasing up here. What do you consider a full set? We have NFT at Gem Card Collecting. Super fan of Tough. The Nate Diaz season was one of the top seasons. Yeah, agreeing. And of course, seasons one, just because it was something no one has seen at the time. So echoing what we talked about. In my opinion, the newest Fanatics 2024 Topps Finest standing photos don't compare to the original Topps Finest cards from 2011, 2013. Earlier Topps Finest photographs were phenomenal by comparison. Yeah. I agree with this. I think, obviously biasy based that, looking back in the time window, I think Topps Finest, as you mentioned, from 2011 to 2013 was just an overall better product. But we'll see what 2025 Topps Finest looks like if we get at the end of the year again. Gem Card Collecting, NFT, one of the best seasons. Jens versus BJ, nice pick. Definitely was a nice pick. NFT, if Jones-Tom's fight happens, I'm curious to see the salary of Jones. Crazy. Yeah, we never know. There's boatloads and truckloads of money that got brought over.
Dude, 30 million or less, make that fight happen. Please.
Makachev versus Taporia is huge. Yeah, we know Gem Card is on Team Taporia. That's no surprise. You'd be pumped.
Team Islam. Team Habib, baby.
That Taporia PC be looking sweet. It already is looking sweet. It's going to be looking even sweeter if he can pull off that win against Islam and get a double champ status. Double champ does what the hell he wants. Dustin J tuning in. Hello, John.
Hello. Who's John?
Not sure. Let us know.
What's up, John?
We'll say hello, John. Our boy John. That risk of seeing Ilya Islam fighting is why we love Dana. That's true. Dana does have the power to do what he wants as well, and that's what UFC typically does. Mosfar is a better fight versus Ilya, I must admit. They have actual beef. They hate each other, both undefeated, and he beat Diego. We miss a lot of great fights with Ilya moving up. That is true.
Yeah.
But you know who we do get if Ilya moves up to 155?
Patty.
And we get
Patty, baby.
And they that is
that's big money.
Main event. That is a big money fight. Gem Card, but it's better for Ilya's career, in my opinion. Same thing Connor did, absolutely.
Yeah, but I'm not worried about his career, Jam. I'm worried about what I want to see on the fights, dude.
Objecto tuning in with the set. Full set is completing base card set, while collecting everything is referred to as a master set. Well, there you go,
nice.
Objecto. Thanks, Buzz. Thank you for clarifying that. We definitely needed your help with that one. Gem card, loving it, Zach. People love you, mate. You are the people's champion.
No, you're the people. We're the people's champ, dude.
Objecto, it takes samurai level collecting skills to complete a master set. Yeah, and it takes.
I ain't doing that, dude. I'm not doing that. That's too much.
It takes probably a U-Haul storage container as well, if we're talking Donruss especially. But Zach, mate, we have so much going on. We're back to what's news. I want to talk about.
Are we gonna get to the pay-per-view buys recap, or we got to cut that one?
No, we'll make it. We can do that quick. I don't have much to say. Right. I'll let you take the floor. But we had this happen. We had UFC make the PSA magazine finally for the first ever time in the March issue 2025. Dude. We have a multi-page article about UFC, not only the cards, but just as a sport in general. I know that the UFC Cardfather was approached to help about this back in 2024, and I do believe Henry Ruiz, who was MMA Rookies, was also a big contributor in making this article happen. But as we can see here, it talks about the birth of the sport in general. It also shows off some of the early. Is that your card there, mate? Is that they get a picture? Yeah. They take a snap from your Instagram. We have.
Is that a PSA 9? I can't see. Or is that 10? Somebody has a 10. I bet that's probably a PSA 10. Mine's a 9.
That's the Anderson Silver rookie from 2006. Is it Bandai? BDM? Yep. Company that made those Japanese Pride cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also, as I said, this was not just like a blip in the magazine. This was
it's big spread, dude.
Big spread. I don't have access to getting this magazine, but I would have loved to have got my hands on a copy. Maybe I can pick one up on eBay as a secondary market somewhere. But yeah, big spread about UFC cards, explaining the product, and a lot of people. I would be interested to know like what sort of subscription base that PSA have for magazines, because this is massive marketing for UFC. This is putting UFC products and the history behind UFC products in front of people who have never maybe even knew that UFC, a growing international sport, even has collectible cards. So Zach, this got me thinking, along with this, because this is great for UFC card community and pushing and getting them out there to other possible collectors. But it made me think, Zach, and I want to put the question out to you now. What, in your opinion, also, if you could pick, one or two things max, what are some other things that you think could also make a massive difference when it comes to UFC card products getting a push over the next few years?
Yeah, I think one thing that the UFC could continue to do better to push UFC cards is to somehow incorporate that into their live broadcasting when it comes to fights. I did see them do that a little bit on Instagram recently. They had, I think it was on the UFC page, they were interviewing fighters and they were like, here's a pack of cards, pull the cards and talk about the fighters. And they were like, some guy would pull a card of a guy they didn't like and he was like, shit, and it was kind of funny. And they were using the cards to incorporate buzz about UFC and also mixing that with the UFC card world. And I think that's really important. But man, this magazine article really made me think about something that I hadn't really thought about when it comes to UFC collecting. Like, we're always talking about how do we get UFC fans more into UFC cards? But this was almost a little bit of a tweak of that. And it was, how do we get people that are already into sports cards into UFC cards? And for some reason, I had never really thought about that much. But this is the perfect exposure for the target demographic that already collects sports cards. And I read a lot of that article, and what they were saying, we've talked about before, and we both believe is true, that when we're in at this time right now, I think is still very early in the breadth of UFC card collecting that's going to be here whenever, 50 years from now. UFC Cardfather was likening it to 1986 for basketball or 1950s for baseball. I still think it's a huge opportunity for us collectors that are in the space, that are collecting, refining our collections. And I think more people will realize this as time goes on, that are collecting other sports, and they'll come over to UFC collecting as the sport continues to grow and as the UFC card world continues to grow. And one thing that I've noticed when I do like my card hobby talks is a theme of like UFC fans that didn't even know that UFC cards were around, right? Like you were the same way. I was the same way. Probably 4 other people that I've talked to are the same way. So I think with this PSA article, if UFC can kind of push cards more into the broadcasting, I think that would help a lot.
Yeah, definitely good points. Because I know DK, shout out DK_displays, has also made known that even WWE now, like I'm watching WWE 2 times a week with both their promotions, and they have articles where they cut to a break and they'll talk about the Topps release products. Like the commentators will do a little like spread on during during not even quite during intermission, but like they'll sneak it in there just like any other advertisement. It's like, yeah, how long before we see this for UFC? And I don't think it's long. I think it definitely is going to come this year in 2025. We'll be seeing this, if not on the pay-per-view events, definitely on maybe the more weekly ESPN events. The only other thing I thought that I think would be a really big push is we need a big sale, Zach. UFC cards, we need at least a 6-figure sale. I'm not sure. It's hard to know what card would do it, but I feel like if we could at least crack 6 figures for UFC, I think that would put a big stamp, and that would maybe, as you said, the target audience is not only UFC like viewers now, is also people who are already into card collecting. Like that's a very narrow demographic too. You've got a strong chance of pulling some of those guys and girls in. So if we can get a massive reported sale for UFC, I think that would go leaps and bounds into not only promoting and causing buzz around UFC products, but sort of putting its stamp on its place that, hey, it does belong up there with some of the bigger sports. So hopefully we can not only get some more marketing behind UFC products this year moving forward, but we can also, as I said, the hobby that we already have, we can get some bigger sales. Getting Dana White, I think we can get Dana White on these Rip It Friday videos to just act like he's pumped about some of the rookies in the upcoming.
He's trying his best, dude. He's trying his best.
He's trying his best, but yeah, he's far from the mark. But as I said, if he could get better at it, which hopefully he does, I think he can do a big impression as well. Because as I said, he is targeting the right audience with UFC followership. But I thought that was a fun little topic to talk about now. We'll go back to the comments. We have NFT. I need that silver pride card, Zach. Let's swap for my Jaylen order.
No deal. Howie Mandel, dealer, no deal. Cash. No deal.
Must cash. Maddie Mac. Wow, that article is super exciting. Must check this out. Yeah, Maddie. I'm not sure if they have. Do they have PSA magazines somewhere? I'm sure they're not selling on the corner store road newsstand in Australia. But if you can get a copy, let me know. I'd be interested to know about it.
I think UFC Cardfather had a lot of the article tagged on his actual page. That's where I read most of it. So you could see probably like 4 or 5 pages of it. I don't know if that's in entirety, but he had a lot of it on his Instagram.
Yep. Down with that. They need to make it easier for international to buy so we aren't paying $20 plus shipping. Yeah. Where are you at down with that? You need to, it still costs a lot. I know me and Maddie Mac do the same thing. We use Ship My Cards. It's still expensive. Like you're paying regular postage, and then you need to pay a fee every time your card gets into your inventory there. And then also you're obviously paying shipping when you get it finally sent home. But
have you made a video about that?
I've talked about it. I haven't. I probably should. Maybe
that'd be helpful, man. That'd be helpful for some people for sure.
You're a smart man, Zach. Well, that's what Maddie Mac, down with that. Ship My Cards is our best option. So there you go. There it is. I'm going to make a video about this. So I'll explain to the people about it. Hopefully Ship My Cards can get in contact with me, because I know they're watching as well.
Sponsor, baby.
Sponsor me, baby. Sponsor us. Great point, Zach. Mentioning cards during fights is cool. Instead of fighting, holding monster drinks, they should hold UFC. Yeah, and they need to demand their rookie card on the spot in the
that'd be cool.
post-fight speeches.
Oh, dude, somebody pulls it out. Like, did you see Noah Lyles in the Olympics? He was doing like Yu-Gi-Oh and all those type of cards when he would run the 100-meter dash. Dude, you get like Mauricio Rufy has a crazy knockout. He reaches in his trunks and he pulls out his own rookie card. That'd be so cool, dude. Yeah, dude.
Like Gambit.
Like, yeah, Gambit's him with a bunch of base cards. That'd be sick.
Gem card collecting. I think if John beats Aspinall, we could see it as 6-figure card. That is true. That is true.
That's it.
Or if
Get
John
the Brinks
beats
truck,
him,
Dana.
If John Jones beats him, we could see a 6-figure John Jones card. That's the stakes we're talking about here. Matty Mac, down with that. Cheers, I'll check it out. Would be easier with products in Kmart or Big W. Down with that. You're a fellow Aussie in Australia, guys. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I had no idea. As soon as you said Big Dub, shout out Big Dub. It's like a
what is that, dude?
Big W is basically like a smaller version of Walmart. Do you know what?
Okay.
Do you have Kmart in Australia? No Kmart either.
We have Kmart's, but they're like bottom tier store, dude. Kmart's like way down there. Nobody likes Kmart.
Kmart is the shit in Australia.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. People walk in there with money in their pocket, and they walk out with just trolley.
Nice. That's probably like our Target, I would think. People can waste a lot of money in Target.
We have Target, and it's that classy. We call it Target.
Yeah.
Target. I've been shopping at Target. Yep. All right. Lastly, Zach, before we get out of here, because we're boring the people enough. Pay-per-view buys, UFC 313 recap. Full disclosure, no sale for me. I had the Alex Pereira Silver Prism rookie from 2023 Prism. It had 3 watches and it had 7 views. But you had, wait a minute, you had the Magomed Ankalaev finest intimidators. I'm pulling it up here now as we speak.
The hamsters are turning in the computer.
They are.
There it is.
There we had it. You had this card.
It, dude.
Let the people know what happened. Well, did this move? Did it not move? Let the people know.
Yeah, dude. Well, I had the champ. 52 views, 1 watcher. So kind of
views.
Yeah, I was gonna say some pretty decent action with 52 views and 1 watcher. I think it was kind of both. Like, obviously, it's a new product, and then Ankalaev is fighting the super popular guy. So a lot of views, only 1 watcher. Needless to say, did not sell the card. But for the people out there, I do think this is a beautiful card. If you're kind of on the fence about what parallel to get, and green is kind of, the green shimmer is like in your wheelhouse of what you're thinking of getting, it looks really good in person. So you can kind of take that opinion for what it's worth, but maybe Ankalaev will win a title defense and this will sell. You never know. It's a buy it now, so it'll be up there for a while, and I'll just set it and leave it up there, and maybe it'll sell next time he fights or something.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it does actually. I mean, even as a picture for a Magomed card, it definitely is a nice looking card. So you won't be surprised if you get that one sold over the next few months for sure. Once again, Zach, we've been here for over an hour now, mate. It's bedtime for me.
Make the bit.
Time to sign off. Once again, everyone, we appreciate you coming here, stopping by on the channel. As a friendly reminder, again, we will be over at Zach's Box Alarm trading channel for the next collabs next month in April. There's a massive UFC 314 is a massive event as well.
Oh yeah, man, it's gonna be fun.
Event. It's gonna be a good event. So leading in that pay-per-view, we will have the regular collabs, and then the upcoming lives that, as I said, will be continuing on month to month now as well. We appreciate having you with us here, interacting in the comments. This is what we're here for. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone. And we'll see you again over at Box Alarm Trading for the next one.
See you guys. Thanks.